Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Duprey.
All right, welcome back to Childcare Genius Podcast. We're going to be talking this week about leadership. So, Carol, it is December. We're in episode 5 of the 8 pillars of leadership, or 8 pillars of leverage. I keep wanting to say 8 pillars of leadership. The 8 pillars of leverage in your childcare business. And leadership is a big one. And it's something that, Carol and I are both military trained. We've both been through leadership training in the military. And military is all about leadership. Hierarchy, chain of command, and that's where we learned it. Doesn't really transcend to childcare very well. I learned that the hard way. It doesn't work in a relationship very well either. Definitely find that out. But it's something that at least we had some training, and because they don't teach leadership in high school, we don't teach leadership in college in America, and it's just something that people, unless you've been trained or read stuff on or gone to courses, you're probably lacking in some of the areas of leadership in your business. Mm-hmm. And just because you own a childcare business doesn't mean you have any leadership skills whatsoever. And some people are born with good skills. People just follow them. And some people are very timid and they try to look for somebody else to be the leader, like their director. But keep in mind, their director has no leadership training either, more than likely.
One thing we learned is some people can have all the leadership training and they're still not a leader.
Sure. You're a leader if you have people that follow you. Are you somebody in an emergency situation that people would follow you out of a burning building? You're a leader. If you're running and hiding during an emergency situation, they're probably not following you. They're probably hiding with you. So how you handle a crisis, it shows you how you are in leadership. I always would test my directors out in an emergency situation to know if they had the leadership ability to lead. And that's how you judge people, how they handle themselves in a crisis. I'll give you an example here in a minute. But first of all, I want to talk about a book that I really enjoy. It's right here on my bookshelf, right behind me. But anyway, it's called High Road Leadership from John Maxwell. And that's the one I recommend. I just got done reading that one. And it's probably the best one I've read so far on leadership because it talks about taking the high road. And so many people today are what we call low road leaders, or they're taking the path of least resistance and just, they put other people down to make themselves feel good. Or there's not good people. And that's a lot of people today, or middle road leaders that have to even things out. You did something bad to me, I'm going to do something bad to you. And, you gave me a bad experience, so I'm going to give, I had a bad meal, I'm going to give you a bad review. That's a middle road leader. Like there has to be a tit for tat or a balancing act, and not realize that sometimes, people have a bad day and, do I give a 1-star review because I had one bad meal at a place? When I had 19 good meals that I never wrote a 5-star review about, am I going to give a 1-star because I had one bad experience? That's a middle road leader trying to balance it out. I had a bad experience. I have to make somebody else suffer for my bad experience. That's the even world. It's a fairness thing. And a high road leader is always taking the high road and in looking to bring value to others in all situations. So I tend to want to always be that high road leader. Carol is too. We have that philosophy at Childcare Genius. We take the high road and we always say good thing about other people, always saying good things about our competition, always saying things about other coaches, always positive. We always look for the best in each and every person and never say anything bad about anybody else. That's what high road leaders are. And we want you to be that way. And we know you'll love that book. So always lead by example. It's something we've always done. We're never too big to pick up a mop at our childcare centers. We've done the maintenance in there.
Take out the trash,
Yes.
change the diapers. Well, you've never changed the diapers,
No,
but
I've had to empty the trash with dirty
Yeah.
diapers in it. So my office, I would always clean my own office. I didn't expect my team members to clean their office because the team members would keep their own spaces clean, and I would keep mine. That's leadership by example. Imagine if I had wanted somebody cleaning my own office. That would tell me that I was too good for me to do it myself. That's not a good leader. But not only would I grab my own trash when I left, a lot of times the trash would be outside of the teachers' classrooms and they would get it on their way out. I would always go grab 2 or 3 other people's trash on the way out. And they always appreciated that I would help them when I would do that. Because I would expect them to do that if my trash was outside and they were on their way out. So that's, again, leadership by example. I always grabbed other people's trash. And another thing I always did was I always parked in the farthest parking spot every time I came to work. My teachers work hard. I want them to not have to, I want them to get the close parking spot. I don't,
easy to grab the trash because the dumpster was by the
I always park by the dumpster for that reason, right? But I wanted to park far away to show that I wasn't too good. Didn't put the owner spot as the closest spot in there. Like I was too good to park with the peons of my center. And I don't think but that would be that mentality. Like, no, I want to go I want to have this, I want to suffer the most on a snowy day. I want to have the farthest walk because I'm not better than them. I want to be able to park at the farthest spot and not have that owner spot reserved for owners parking only. New. Again, leadership by example. Carol and I were in Jamaica 3 weeks ago for our conference. And on the third day of our conference, before I get started, I walked into the bathroom and somebody had mopped the floor. It was a marble floor, and I fell and I hit the deck and my knee jammed into my ribs and I broke a couple ribs. And I was in excruciating pain. This was at 8:30 and I'm supposed to speak at 9. And I crawled out of the bathroom because it was a wet floor, mind you. And one of the attendees grabbed me. He was a pastor, and he grabbed me and he helped me get into the foyer there. And I sat down, and I was, it knocked the wind out of me. And he prayed for me, and I said thank you very much. And he went into the conference, and my team member came out, and they're all around me. And whenever I break a bone, I have a bone condition. So whenever I break a bone, I immediately break into a fever and I start sweating. So I'm starting to sweat profusely, and I'm in the entranceway, and people are coming by. And April, one of my team members, and Nick, another one of my team members, they're fanning me with a fan. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, we're trying to go. I said, stop that. They said, why? I said, I don't want people to see you. They said, what do you mean? I said, if people see you, they're going to think that I am too good to fan myself. Like they're waiting for somebody to come and feed me grapes, that they're taking care of the grand master. I was so worried about perception because that's what good leader is, somebody who, and I didn't want people to panic. So I could barely speak, but I said, listen, there's no reason to upset the conference attendees. I said, I will be okay. I just need a little bit of time. I've broken bones before. I know broken ribs, there's nothing you can do, but I'm going to need a minute to catch my breath, and I can't speak at 9. So I had Michael come over and I said, Michael, I need to switch the order. I said, you need to go on first. Do not tell anybody I'm hurt. Show goes on. And immediately my team went into action. And I said, nobody's to know because I didn't want anybody to worry about me and not have that conference experience. And you were right there.
Yep, April came and got me.
April, yeah, because you were getting my coffee.
And then she got our coffee because I was in line, but I didn't make it there.
She went and got me because I wanted the iced coffee to cool me down. So I would overheated. I was in a lot of pain, and there's nothing to do for broken ribs. I've broken many, so I refused medical treatment. I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't get mad at the resort. It's high road leadership. Somebody mopped the floor. They didn't put the sign up, but that's not the resort's fault. Right. It's just somebody made a mistake. And I wasn't about to start blaming somebody, demanding things. I want a free. I'm not that. I'm a high road leader because people make mistakes. I wasn't going to ruin somebody's day over that. Take the high road and realize that, I was so thankful I didn't break my kneecap. I was so thankful I didn't break my femur because I have brittle bone disease, so I could break bones easily. And I could have been severely hurt. I could have hit my cat on the counter on the way down. So I was thankful I didn't get seriously hurt. So I wasn't really worried about a couple broken ribs. Yeah, it's been painful. But I'm telling the story to show you is how you show up as a leader in a crisis determines how people will follow you. My team got so much respect for me for the way I handled that I know they would follow me anywhere. And that's just the way I am because I'm concerned about them, but I love how they concerned about me. But I let them know that the customer experience was more important. And I went on a cruise that night on a catamaran. That wasn't fun because it was bouncing around with the waves and did some dancing. It was painful dancing, but you know what? I always said regret's more painful. Regret is less painful. Pain is less, what does it say? Pain is temporary, regret is permanent. I didn't want to regret not having a good time with my people. We had 100 people on a catamaran and they were there for a good time. And I just wanted to make sure that let them know that I was okay. So I was dancing and in a little bit of pain. Thankfully, I had a little bit of Tylenol to help me out. But anyway, that experience. And the next day I was able to speak all day. And I spoke for 3 hours that day and just had to take breaks a little bit with the breath. And then I hurt myself again. People don't know, but I hurt myself again Thursday night. I missed a step in my room. The room had step and I missed it. And I hurt my ribs even worse. And I couldn't lay down. I couldn't sleep that night. So I had to sleep sitting up. So we ended up going home early. But the conference was done and we ended up going home. We lost a week's vacation out of it. But anyway, the point I want to get across is how do you show up in a crisis situation at your childcare center? When there's a fire at your childcare center, not a literal fire, when there's a fire, do you show up with gasoline or do you show up with water? How do you show up in that crisis? Is how your team is going to show up in a crisis when you're not there. If something bad happens, a parent comes in unhappy, how you handle that situation is how your team's going to handle it when I'm not there. My team seeing me, how I handle that crisis, that's how I expect them to handle crises with our clients in the future. With calm, be a leader, bring water to a fire, don't put gasoline on it. And keep in mind, this is a learned skill. Your team will learn from you, and then your teachers will learn from the directors. Just don't be that kind of person that's always in that crisis. And just a reminder to always take the high road. Anything to say? Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that is leadership in a nutshell. John Maxwell is a leadership. John Maxwell, Carol and I are both John Maxwell certified leadership coaches. We have several John Maxwell leadership coaches on our Childcare Genius University coaching team. So if you ever need help in leadership, you know where to go. Is check us out at Childcare Genius University. And anyway, we're going to move on now, and we're going to go to next week. So we'll see you next week when we talk about staffing. So we'll see you then. Well, thank you for tuning in to this episode. Before we go today, we want to remind you that tickets are still on sale. We have not sold out yet for our Childcare Genius Live Conference in Las Vegas, April 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Golden Nugget. That is in downtown Las Vegas. And tickets are on sale right now at childcaregenius.com. And we're excited to have you there. We're going to have over 500 exciting childcare owners and directors. There's 2 different experiences, one for owners in one room and one for directors in a completely different room. And it's the most advanced childcare conference in the world. You excited, Carol?
I am. It's going to be a great conference.
Yeah, we did it last year. We had over 300 last year. We're going to have over 500 this year, and it's going to be amazing. We had secured ticket room prices. We secured $75 room rate plus resort fee and tax, but that's an unheard of to go to a conference, childcare conference. You only have to pay $75 plus resort fee and tax for a room. You can afford to bring your whole team at that price. Absolutely. And of course, it's cheap to eat in Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
some of these hotels you go to in, big cities like New York or Chicago, and they're paying $12 for a hamburger and,
Yeah.
And $8 for a cup of coffee because you're stuck there. You can't go anywhere else. And here you got, the Vegas
Steak and
downtown.
shake.
Things are cheap. Yeah, steak and
shake burger.
$4.99 for a steak and shake burger and fries. You can eat cheaply, and or you can eat expensive too. There's some
Yeah.
nice restaurants.
Really good steakhouses.
But it's definitely much more affordable than going to most childcare conferences. And Vegas is fun.
It is fun.
And they have a good time. So we hope you'll consider coming to the most advanced childcare conference in the world. Every speaker is in the childcare industry. We don't put celebrities on who can't teach you how to do payroll in a childcare center. They might sell a few books, but we don't do that. We just put people on stage that have done what you wanted to do. And totally different than most childcare conferences. And Carol and I can't wait to meet you, and we'd love to have you there. So go to childcaregenius.com, go under the conference tab, and select Childcare Genius Live, and go ahead and get your tickets today. Book your rooms. This will sell out, and we're excited to say that. So this concludes this episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you next week. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.